Hey everyone, this is Tanya. So what I'm doing is doing my wrap up today. Don't mind me rambling, that's repetitive. So not been having a good bath. There we go already. A couple days. Um, I am on the downside of the wheel of what you think, round and round and round. And I can't stop my tower moments from last year, very much so last year, and even beginning this year, are starting to subside. Well, not really. But that's okay. That's for another day, another time. Not going to go on. I had my major mood swings in my personal swing of moods part yesterday, Friday, yesterday, and today. So let's hopefully, after getting those out, I can move forward. Either way, I'm here. And if you watched my channel before or you're first tuning in, thank you for doing so. I appreciate you giving it a watch. So today's video is going to be on to try to get me to reframe, refocus my perspective, and to move forward. Because the job I was expecting to get, they decided not to fill the position now. I don't know why a company would go through all that hard work, time, effort, and investment just to not do that, but at least I know it's not a personal reflection. Especially didn't take the same type of hit on my pride. If you watch my previous videos, you'll see I'm part of the Black Lent of this year, the challenge that Jasmine Ambrosia and Trish from Beanbag Hagwag did. I know it's not primarily me this time. So yeah, so that's all fine, and I could kind of separate that. So this challenge has already helped me in that perspective with my ongoing of the perspective of pride and how to embody it and deal with it in a healthy way, and what I push back. So again, don't want to go too far into that. So if you watched any of my previous videos, I finally got the courage to show myself. In January, I'm a tarot enthusiast, collector, oracle. I'm a divination witch and energy witch. Those are my main things. I have many others. Somewhat herbal, just not good at growing them, like I mentioned in my previous last week's video. However, I am big on them, big on channeling. I speak to spirits, my guides, other people's guides to help heal, advise them in growth, etc. My deities. So that's one of my, I guess, huge pluses and benefits of this, as having this capability and the tools to be able to do so. Especially get me through difficult times. So yes. So I'm going to show off from January, getting back to January, and now doing for February sort of wrap up. I decided this year, since I'm such a music fan, I use it in everyday life. I'm obsessed with music. My iTouch and iPhone playlists and Apple have like 12, 13,000 songs. Yes, many are the same. I have in rotation, especially the witchy ones, and such, and the rock and metal. But hey, whatever makes you happy. I use I use magic with music. So music, I believe, is very indicative. It has such a high charge energy and is beneficial to magic or writing spells, incantations, something to focus on that energy to embody or to change an energy, or to bring intention or purpose about. Or at least for me it is. It also works well with spirits. My spirits love certain types of music, let's put it that way. Anywhere from metal, doom metal, to 80s, campy 80s music, romance music, a lot of 90s alternative, and to this month's theme song for February that I did to base it on, because I'm basing each month on either a song lyric for my tarot and oracle themes, or a song itself, or basically a combination thereof. This video may be a little long, so just strap in and, like me, have a cup of tea, coffee, wine, whatever the case. And as you can see, don't mind my horrible nails. I don't do my nails, so yeah. So look at this awesome, amazing teacup that my husband got me for Christmas. Yeah, a cauldron cup. Well, called Demon. It's from Killstar. So if you're into gothy stuff, tea, whatever the case is, if you're watching this, you probably are into some of that type of stuff or deeply into it like me. But yes, a nice cup of honey, lavender, and nice having an opportunity to sit outside. A little gloomy, but at least not windy today, so you may not hear my wind chimes. So to start off with, January song, if you look back at January's video, was Below a Butterfly Wing by Smashing Pumpkins. One of my favorite songs as a teen, as I graduated in 97. I don't have my age, whatever. But I use the same world as a vampire. So that's the title of it. I use my vampire decks. If you want to be patient and go look at my sloppiness and just my randomness in that video, please feel free to do so. It'd be greatly appreciated. So today's video for February, to get back on track, is going, and not to hopefully make this way too long. I'm going to try to show, I have 3 tarot decks I primarily use and 1 oracle deck. Most of them you can find right online. One is a unicorn deck. That's what I'm going to start off with, for me, meaning it's not unicorn as in unicorn's an animal. I love those too. I love that energy. That was one of my huge fascinations I carried and had as a child and carried into my adulthood. Those and Pegasus. But this unicorn deck, that was a gift from my cousin, one of my greatest supporters, champions, who puts me into perspective, and also is on the same path as me. We grew up together, so hence we found our path at the same time. I'm older, of course, but yeah. So I've had that blessing too, to have his support and be walking the path with him, and of course his love of tarot, and divination. So this is, he found from the creator, which is Brandy Eve Allen, the Invisible Light Tarot, which he fell in love with once I showed him the video. Of course, I'm obsessed with that, in Tarot Tube, yeah, and Witchy Tube and such. So he found the deck, and he just happened from the creator. It was quite expensive, quite an amazing expensive gift, and very generous of him, which I appreciate, and I love it too. I love the Emperor card. I don't know if it's going to come up or not. That I don't want to just take up all your time, because you're taking the time to watch this, obviously. And warning alert ahead of time, the decks I will be showing have a lot of nudity, divine feminine, somewhat BDSM type of themes on it, because I work with Venus, or have started, at least on an official level, in January, end of December, beginning of January. These decks are inspired by her. I don't have a problem with the sin of lust. But, so yes. And so if you're not into nudity, you're not into that type of thing, or even maybe what one might consider confronting images, you can turn this off now. No hard feelings. To each their own. Just a quick disclaimer. Most of the stuff is I like more what people consider fucked up or dark decks anyways. I only have a few of the kind of cutesy, colorful decks. I like something that I can feel. So this month's theme was Strangelove for February, even though this is being filmed on March 3rd. So Strangelove by Depeche Mode. If you don't know it, check it out. I fucking love Depeche Mode. They are one of my favorites. I still love them, and they are still amazingly talented, even after the loss of their band member. So with that, and we're already approaching 10 minutes. I better get my ass in gear. So here is the Invisible Light Tarot by Brandy Eve Allen. I apologize. Not that I would believe she would ever watch this. But, and I also hear she's going to be, from her own site and her own messaging, that she's going to be having a deck come out this year on Kickstarter. So if you know about this deck, or you are a fan of hers, or anything that's intense and gorgeous and photography and creativity in indie decks, check that out. Here is the backing. Now the Pentacle Suits is Earth, and as you can see, there is nudity of the behind already for the Two of Earth. But this deck is beautiful. A lot of black and white with amazing pops of color and amazing interpretations. Three of Earth. I did not put this in order. This is just how they're coming up. But take a look at that. I love photography decks when they're done right. This Ace of Earth, look at the colors. That's what I was talking about with the puff, with the actual huge pops of color. It's amazing and how this was done in the creativity behind the exposure and films that I believe were the film with pictures for the, for taking the picture was actually out of exposure or inspired. But again, don't quote me 100%. This is just, again, a general video to show what I was using. Seven of Earth. I like this page of air. As much as I don't like some of the meanings of the swords, like you had a lot of them this morning, I still, one of the suits, I actually look for the most cards, and when I'm determining whether or not I'm going to work with a deck for myself or clients, or even for my collection. So I like this page of air. Page of Earth. See, this deck's got quite a sense of humor on top of it. Let's see. Oh, King of Earth. I like this one. Here's another with an amazing pop of color. I like that depiction. Looks like a real man versus a very handsome man. There's a lot of handsome men in this deck. My attempt that we can get the camera today. Let's see, let me show you a couple quick more. You can see the titles are very clear on this deck, which I love. I love that they're actually on the top. Show you just a handful more. Here's a major finally. So I used it together. Look at that hermit. I love that hermit. I want to be where that hermit is right now. But in a much warmer environment. It's nice here. I'm not going to complain. At least today. So yes, so this is the Invisible Light Tarot by Brandy Eve Allen. Again, I'm thinking of doing a flip through of this. I don't edit my videos, and I don't really, at this point, feel the need to. It's my channel, so my videos. So yeah, either take it or leave it. I'm getting better with that. And not comparing myself or be as envious or putting myself down. It's part of my pride working and just being myself. Hence this. But look at that Hangman. Oh, one of my favorite Hangmans ever. So that is, again, the Invisible Light Tarot. Very hard to find. It's out of print. This was a very expensive indie deck. I love indie decks. It was an amazing gift, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. Check it out. Eventually, I think I'm going to do a full flip through and review. I got this as a gift last month, beginning of February, so yeah. Hence, perfect for the Strangelove theme. People interacting, the colors, the energy, and the truth, and actual different energetic auric energy and reality, real people. And as you can tell, real people in real situations, even if they are staged, it is fucking good. And it's a great reader. And her guidebook for the cards is one of the best, short, sweet, and but definitely fills the void that many other books do, or guidebooks do, with many decks or the explanation of what the actual creator did behind their vision, behind their creation, their gift, and what they gave to us. So let's move forward. We're at 16. Deck 2, again, not too many here. Get this together. This is another indie deck, of course. I'm a big indie deck person. Not that I don't love my mass markets. Just recently got the Night Sun Tarot and the Barbara Walker Tarot. Night Sun will be being used in March. I love Fabio Lastrani's artwork. I have the regular mass market Goetia and Tarot and Darkness, and the large indie version. The indie version I will be working here in March. March theme is going to be quite a bit dark. Kind of go along with the sin. So, it's the 7 Deadly Sin Challenge, and yeah. Maybe you can get some kind of guesses at what song that will be. And hey, if you're interested, you like this type of concept, check out end of March, beginning of April, to see what the fall theme was. And if you don't mind bearing with me. So this deck is, again, another nudity deck. This one is a bit very confronting and has specific voice. It's an underwater photography deck. It has a very in-your-face sexual themes, very in-your-face, can be very confronting issues, or triggering if you are not into that type of thing. Especially there's some that show blood or the illusion of blood, harm, self-harm, mutual harm, sexual innuendos, BDSM. But again, my theme is strange love. Strange love. I give in to sing because I like to practice what I preach. I can't sing, so yeah. Here's my attempt at giving one of my inspirations for my lyrics and behind my mindset and why I chose it. So, 5 of Pentacles. Now this is another example where the guidebook is very short but beautiful. It has what the actual photo name is on the side of the deck. It's hard to see here, but in the guidebook, along with the meaning. It's such an amazing meaning too. It's like kind of like a poem, but kind of not, and it actually mirrors the image very well. And this deck is actually a great reader. It's a very liminal space deck, so if you are into Venus, this is one of her decks I work with, and to channel her, and also even Hecate, and even Hades likes it. Of course, kind of take a couple guesses, even if you know a little bit about his mythos. But take a look at that deck. The picture, should I say. She's a beautiful deck. This one, look at the 4 wands. Again, not any particular order. There is flip throughs of these. You can check Racine at Owl Moon 513. That's where I found out about this deck. She bought it for herself last year as a birthday gift, and therefore I got this deck last year, and I get to thereafter. Many of her decks, check out her channel. She's pretty, gorgeous goth, and has amazing insight, talent, knowledge, and depth, and on her practice, her insight, and all the almost 8 out of 10 decks I've seen, 7 to 8 decks she shows on a regular basis, have influenced me to either get the decks or to find something similar or how to work with them in my practice. Look at this. Now this one is one of my favorites. This came up a lot for obvious reasons that I've mentioned. Death. This is one of my favorite death cards. Look at this. It's very haunting. This deck is very haunting and evocative. If you want something that deals with very much emotions and might help you to deal with your triggers, to understand your emotions, your inner world, or the world of how you relate with others or situations on an emotional level, I recommend it. She's also a very high-powered deck in a magical sense. It would be great for meditation and journaling. Let's see if I can find a couple other of my favorites real quick. Look at that hangman. Look at that for perspective. That's a whole different perspective, which the hangman is one of the many things. It's all about perspective, how you're looking at the situation, or dealing with it, or whether it's your choice or others. So that's probably one of the best hangmans ever. Just flipping through to see if I can find it. There we go. Look at this one. This is one of my favorites. King of Pentacles. Look at this. This is definitely the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking of Strangelove, and the same for February. Once I did that, this was like a no-brainer. And as you can see, gorgeous. I'm going to probably do a full flip through and review of this. Only complaint I have about this deck, honestly, is that this is a very confronting card, so be warned. But very, very truthful. Very, very truthful. For the Three of Swords. Probably the best embodiment I've ever seen. Slit of the throat, then mouth, and the chest. For wounding, and what the Three of Swords does, and what it does with our emotional and mental self-harm, of how we perceive a relationship and ending or our lives. Basically pretty accurate for me, so I did get that quite a lot last month. So there, I will be, as I said, attempt to do eventually reviews on my channel. And then with that, and she'll full flip. The only, as I was saying, I got off track, is that the cardstock on this sucks. It's flimsy. However, it's an indie deck. It's quite an investment, not as much as the last deck I showed you, the first one, but quite an investment on that. On itself, you can still get it on Etsy, or at least when I saw probably a couple weeks ago. But the price went up about $10. It is numbered. She only made 1,000 of those, and it's done by Shelley Corbett. Now that's two of the ones. This one I'm not going to go through too much real quick. This one is basically, you can find literally probably hundreds of videos along the lines on the internet or YouTube, in findings on the Crowley Harris Soft. Crowley, whatever. Soft deck was my first deck back when I was 18, 27 years ago. Still my soul deck, my home deck, my favorite. Now my actual deck I've had for the 27 years is actually right now in rest period. She's been through a lot of battering, met a lot of people throughout the years, done probably hundreds of readings, lots of work with me. She got burnt, got stuff spilt on her, etc. So she went into that. So I have three soft decks. That being the first one. Second one is a gift to me by the same person that gifted the Invisible Light Tarot to me. Years ago, he gifted me a version from like 1987 that had multiple versions, I believe, of the Magician or the Fool. Have not worked with that one, but I'm going to use that in my magic workings. The Thoth is one of the best decks ever for magic. It's got sigils in it, highly esoteric meanings involved on it. And she's a very honest deck and very in-depth and confronting and truthful. So that's why I like it. And I learn a new thing each and every time I pick it up, and every time I go to study a little bit. By no means am I a soft. To be honest, I don't think anyone can be. And it has a different consciousness. Now, whether or not you love or hate Crowley, or in between, Crowley was a fucked up individual, of course. Many intellectuals and artists and even practitioners of any sort are, yeah, I think that sometimes comes along the lines with that. Honestly, I'm enjoyed Crowley's writings, learning about him, his magic, his systems, and of course the deck. This deck took Lady Frida Harris and him 5 years to create and many attempts to repaint. As I said, I've been studying. I did some last year. In the future, I will. Again. Sorry, quick cup of my honey lavender tea. This version I trimmed. It's rough. This is the card I pulled this morning. I'm using it for this month too. I didn't use it as much. It was in my alternate rotation in February for Strangelove. But Strangelove is because I'm bonded with this deck. I'm bonded with all mine primarily, with the ones I work with. But this one's just special. My other one, there is a video showing a few flip through, and probably do more on that eventually. I'm getting a little bit better at this YouTube thing. Things come with time and patience, growth, learning, and lessons. Almost at 30, so one of my favorite cards, Ace of Swords. This card deck actually deserved to be trimmed. Look at that painting and those colors. Well, from the painting, should I say. But look at those images and how evocative and provocative they are. And how magical and esoteric they are. So many layers, so many colors. The colors have meanings. All the symbols have meanings in them. No, I don't like when this Five of Wands comes up for myself. But yeah, still beautiful. I like that for her. You can see though, it really makes the deck pop and gives it justice. And it's trimmed. I kept the bottom on there because, again, that's how I like it. A lot of people that have trimmed the deck in some shape or form or incarnation have actually cut off the bottom two or all the borders. This is just my choice. Eventually, I'm planning to etch this one in blue. Not that I've etched the deck, too afraid to, but trying to learn to embrace a lot of the Fool's qualities in a positive way. And of course, look at the moon. Trimmed real quick. Stars, sea, just those colors are so bright. This video's just me. But yeah, committed to it, almost done. Vibrant. Two of Swords came up for me a lot in both the Abyssal Tarot, which is the last one that I showed, in case I didn't mention it. I don't believe I did. And in this deck. Can we sense a theme, boys and girls? Yes. And I recognize that and made note. So with that, and beautiful Ace of Cups, I'm going to leave it on that. So that's my third deck. Last thing I'm just going to put, I did use the Earth and Bone in the high point of my rotation, the Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadows, so I'm not going to show that. There's probably dozens of great videos out there showing flip-throughs, reviews, walkthroughs, etc. I'm a huge fan of Syrian Shadows. I just got the Haunted Manor deck. Oh my god, that guidebook made me cry. The deck made me cry. I've only had like 2 weeks, so yes. And the production quality and the investment in time of that deck especially, but the Earth and Bone, and of course Shadow and Darkness, which is my heavy metal deck, I call it, but it's a shadow deck, but I use it for other things too. Very truthful, insightful. They'll tell you the truth, whether it fucking cuts you up and hurts, it gives you a swift kick in the ass, or it gives you a gentle, warm, cuddling hug, and often in between. But you know what? We all need decks like that. Decks should not just be for reading and divination. They are for psychological self-work, helping others, growth, and of course magic, and in tune with your guidance system, or whatever you choose to work with them with. We each work with our decks differently, and let each of our decks have a different voice, even if they're all the same. In pictures and images, different voices for each one of us. Lastly, I'm just going to show you this oracle. the Queen Mab Oracle. There's a lot out there on this too, quite a lot. So I'm not going to go just to wrap up, just a few cards, because this is getting at 30 minutes. So try to keep this under 40. There's a lot of flip-throughs, walkthroughs of this deck. This deck is very Venus energy and very Hecate energy. So if you were into either or both like me, yes. And they speak very well, very honestly through this deck. It's very dark, divine, feminine. Some people use this for Lilith also, which I have not worked with, maybe in the future, if she steps through. Very, very witchy too. It's got fairy deck, but it's very witchy. It's got mermaids in it too. Sometimes it gets kind of hard. My only complaint is to see the titles on it, but then again, my eyes are screwed up. But look at that. Very underworldly. That's right, Hecate. Very Hecate vibes. Very dark end of Venus, but very divine, feminine aspect of lust of Venus, and power and truth. I use this deck, of course. I've used it. Works very well in communication. In the Strangelove month with the Abyssal Tarot, has worked as well with the Thoth Tarot, and of course with the Invisible Light. But on its own, it's amazing. I have even used it on its own for daily draws, pulls, and readings. And clarification. It can also, in many ways, be a good clarifier. So it speaks very well into that whole mindset. Again, there's a lot of nudity in this deck also. But that's how Tanya rolls. And I don't have an issue with lust, at least in with the general thought and concept of the sexual portion, or expressing yourself sexually or energetically, or its constructs. I do have a problem with envy a little bit, and wrath. Yeah, that's come up. That's probably going to be next year's. That could have been a close contender for Pride, but it's already working on Pride. Again, can check out those videos for Black One. So again, just look at how beautiful but truthful and confronting it is. I think that should make you fucking feel. Make you cry, make you smile, make you laugh with their truth, their insight, their sense of humor. Make you feel beautiful. Make you feel, in my case, like a powerful fucking witch. And just give you calm, comfort, insight, truth, help you psychologically. They help me. The tarot decks and oracle decks are my therapist. It is my therapy. And how I work with them is my therapy as a woman, witch, and spiritual being. So with that, if you already haven't fallen asleep or walked away or fucking bored with my rambling, but at least that's better than what I saw in my other flip-throughs. There's a bit more flow and show more decks, better time management, I guess, or more comfort in my skin, slowly but surely. So with that, thank you all for taking the time to watch this, and watch my videos, and check out some previous ones if you enjoy rambling things. But thank you for being patient, showing up while I showed my theme of Strangelove for the month of February. January again was The World is a Vampire by Bullet with Miss Pumpkins. Again, I don't edit. Probably in the near future, that'll be one of my many huge ever-growing list of things to learn or do or whatever. But for now, yeah, you're here. This is my video. I like people that are real, show themselves, staging and stuff. A lot of that's all covered by others or different others' perspectives on the occult tea tag that's going around on YouTube, TarotTube, and Instagram. And if you're interested, my Instagram is Little Miss All. Oh my God, I can't. Little Miss Girl All 79. On Instagram, you see my weekly readings, which are under also the community link of YouTube. on my page, but also you'd see the picture in that reading on my Instagram, Little Miss Girl 79. I got that right this time. That, along with the horror movies that me and my husband watch, which is huge. My husband, Matt at You and Your Horror Movies, has over 5,000 movies in his ever-growing collection in my house. So technically, by default, it's mine. So I'm a huge horror fanatic. You'll probably see that a lot more as I start showing things and themes out of that. Many of them are paranormal, witchy, or even demonic themed. So yes. So with that, thank you for putting up with me. This is Al at 35. Thank you for being patient, tuning in. I hope this finds you all well in this crazy world. And with that, blessed be.